I wish my dad was here so he could sit here instead of me and take over this conversation, because he is more of a Mercedes-Benz expert and aficionado, if you will, so he could sit next to my good friend and guest today, Mr. Patrick Scruggs. However, I'll be here and I know when to be quiet and when to shut up and let the experts and the passionate people speak about cars. Today we're at Dr. Detail headquarters in Costa Mesa, who is our mutual friend and our introducee, if you will. They've got amazing, beautiful facilities with detail shops and what have you here in Costa Mesa. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your love for cars, and some of your passion when you started with cars and your first car, and then how you got to these beautiful machines behind us.
Well, I started off restoring a 1930 Model A. My dad gave to me when I was 14 years old.
What year was that?
1930.
Oh no, when were you 14?
Well, let's see. I was born in 1952. I restored that car and sold it to a collector. And then my next car was a 1967 GTO.
Oh, wow.
And then my next car was a 1960 220 SE Mercedes Convertible. And I had that for a long time. And then about 20 years ago, I decided I'd like to get a 280 SL. And I did get a 280 SL, and I restored that. And we won 3 concourse with it. And it was too nice to drive. It was a 99.9 car. Midnight blue with a parchment interior. So I had found out about this beautiful car, which has never been restored, and it's all original. And I was able to trade the first car for this car. And it's been just a fabulous ride, but back up a little bit. So as I started getting involved with the cars, I then was invited to be a judge at San Marino Classic and La Jolla Concours d'Elegance. So I went to judge school, and then I've been judging there for 15 plus years.
And it's only Mercedes? Benz, or is it SL in specific or a different
300
types?
SLs, Gull Wings, 280s, 230s, 250s.
Okay.
This is a 280. The last perfections were made on that car. So my background has just been a love of Mercedes-Benz in the end.
When did that love start somewhere? Was there a time where like, oh wow, I saw this one, first one? Like for instance, for me, the 2002 BMWs never made it for me. I kind of started becoming more interested in the BMWs in my teens when I saw the 3 Series in the 70s and 80s, the early 80s. But then when I saw the BMW 8 Series, that's when I just fell head over. That was that moment, like an aha moment. And from that day on, I never went back. So did you have that aha moment for the SLs?
I did. One of my friends owned one, and I saw him driving down Jamboree Road with the top off in the convertible, smoking a cigar. It was midnight blue with a parchment interior.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I think I should get one of those.
Okay.
So my wife and I searched around. It took a year and a half to find the right car. And it was the definite aha moment.
There you go.
Although the car has a striking color, it has some of the things you never see in an unrestored car. First off, it's in great condition. The chrome's fantastic. The paint's glazurette, the German paint. If you take the wheels off, which we did for all 5 of them, including the spare, you look for a stamp on the inside, which says 469.
Okay.
So basically each one of those is stamped, and they're original wheels.
Wow.
And so you look for those kind of things. You look inside the engine compartment, you look for the little stickers on the vehicle admission parts. And they're original. They don't look very good, but they're original. Mm-hmm. You look in the trunk for the gasoline sticker, which is there. And when you look for the condition of all the chrome, like on the interior, there's no pitting on the chrome. The speedometer and tachometer are all original. All the colors are faded, which is what you want.
I remember you showed me one thing I didn't notice, the gaskets in the front bumper. You said these
Yes.
gaskets are original, and I said, how do you know? He said, it's because they're brown.
Right, they have never been taken off. When we get a car up in the air, there's actually a water stamp that's in red. That's on the inside of the bumper. The bumpers are supposed to be undercoat beige, which they are. They've never been repainted. So I'm going to try and show you some of the original things for a car that's not been restored. First off, I'd like to show you the eyebrow right here. There's a little lip on this chrome headlight and a little indentation in the paint. These are the original bumper guards, and you can see that the gasket is very colored. These have never been off the car, meaning after 52 years, they still have never been removed, right here. There's another eyebrow here. And all the chrome is original, so it's never been replated. All this, the star. So when you look at these cars, you have to look at all the gaps and see that the width is equal. And when you open up the door and when you close it, you hear it just fits perfectly because it's never been altered. So this is the smooth satin wood that's original. When the car is restored, it comes out gloss. And in between these pieces of wood is a felt piece. You rarely see that. That's because it's never been restored and the car has been taken care of well. So 52 years that felt's been in there. This dash is smooth, but if you look at here, it's orange peel. When the cars are built, they did not smooth the dash. If a car is restored, it'll be smooth here and smooth there. So that's just very important to know that. Okay, so I'm going to open up the bonnet where the convertible top is. And over here is a number 2110. That's the same number that's under the hood. And then here is the convertible top. And you'll see a picture in our rest of our presentation. There's an original faded sticker here to how to operate the convertible top. Now here's the same thing. I want to show you how well this fits. So I had mentioned the beige seat belts, which I have never seen. Here they are. And then I'm going to close this door. You can hear the tight fit and how even these gaps are. So when we put the car up in the air, you'll see inside the bumpers in here a beige paint. And that beige paint is all original. And again, we have the gaskets that are all worn and dark. So the beige paint is, I know it sounds like it's not a big deal. It is a big deal because all of them completely match and you can see it when you have it up in the air. So in this car, the AC blows really cold, which is nice when you've got the top down. Even with the top down, it's awesome to have some air conditioning. And then, of course, the horn works great and it sounds good. We'll give it a toot toot when we're driving it. Right here. So Alec has a paint meter, which is great, and we've gone around the car, and the two areas that have been repainted are the trunk lid and the hood. The rest of it is between the numbers that he likes.
Between 3 and 7, 3 and 6, something like that, depends on factory. So these are showing original, 5 and 4. Obviously I knew that hood is going to show a little higher now. About 18 mils. So it is about 13. So we knew that already, but then this panel is showing original. 7, 5, about 7, because they kind of blended in, I think. This one about 14, so this shows, yeah. So it's about 9, so they blended this in, but the panels around are mostly original. Obviously it hasn't been restored, so it's partial.
Yeah. One thing to mention, everyone probably is looking at this car knows this, but the doors and the hood and the trunk lid are all aluminum to make the car lighter.
What do you know about the history of the car ownership, going back where, when, where has it been, what has it done? Obviously it's original and it was kept in such way, but what about
It was kept
geographical?
on a showroom floor in Knoxville, Tennessee. It was owned by a dealer. There's a letter that shows that it was owned by the dealer. That's a good spot to have a car because you don't have the salt air and it's enclosed.
Yeah.
Now we've done the same thing here. We've kept it washed and covered to make certain that nothing gets deteriorated.
Another mind-blowing thing about this car is that it has 86,000 original miles. They are documented, I believe, that it's never rolled over.
It's never rolled over. We've put about 1,000 miles on it, maybe a little bit more. We love driving it down the coast. It's just a fabulous car, the sound. We have done quite a few things to the car just to preserve it. So we first got the horsehair car seat backings. We took off the MD text and put those in because it was a little squishy when we first got it. So that's all solid. The transmission was clunky, and we had it rebuilt by a fellow up here in Fountain Valley, Herman the German. And he did a perfect job on it because all of these cars of that year had the same transmission. So if you had a coupe, a larger coupe, the transmissions were all the same. So they all shifted hard. Well, this is a lighter car, and that made it shift really hard. Well, Herman the German, now it shifts just beautifully. I mean, he changed the plates and just made it perfect. We replaced the all Bilstein shocks. We replaced the motor mounts. We replaced the fender mount bushings. We took off the front of the engine, did the main seal, put in a new water pump, new timing chain. So we've just basically gone through it to make so it's about as good as it can get without destroying the preservation car.
Don said something about this car.
Don is the 35-year Mercedes-Benz mechanic. He's a fabulous guy. And I went in to get his business card just so I could give it to you in case someone wants to call him and talk to him about the car. And I said, we're going to put it on Bring a Trailer. And he said, oh my gosh, that's the most beautiful Mercedes 280 SL I've ever seen in my life. And so that made me feel good.
Don't take our word for it. I'm going to ask him to appear on camera for a second, not here at his shop, to tell us about his true feelings with this car.
My name is Don Kusiki, and I'm the owner of DDK Motors. We have been here in almost 40 years, and we do a lot of old classic cars restorations. And so I just want to talk about Patrick Scrubb's car, the 280 SL 1970. It's one of the most beautiful cars that we've seen run through the shop, and we do a lot of SLs here for many years. In particular, his car, we've done a lot of work for the past 3 years. We've done the automatic transmission, and it was rebuilt by Herman in the Fountain Valley, one of the best transmission shops I believe in the country. And we also did the subframe mounts, bushings. We did shocks all the way around. We did also we replaced the engine mounts. So pretty much everything that Patrick would ever want us to check and needed to be done, he had us do it. So that's the most important thing. The subframe bushings we replaced all around. So I think whoever is interested to find and to buy this car would be really surprised, because it's one of the most beautiful cars that like I said, that I've ever seen run through the shop. And they would be impressed to see it physically. I think it would be great. Oh, as far as the originality, it's one of the most original cars that I've seen run through the shop. And also the colors are so beautiful. To see those colors in real life, it's incredible. I've seen a lot of SLs, different colors, but in particular, this type of color that I've never seen with these color combinations. So it's a beautiful color combination all around, and it's all original as far as we can tell. And we've driven it, and we find out that it's one of the best driving cars that I've driven of a 280 SL in many years. So we were very impressed with the car.
Well, I've driven a lot of 280 SLs. This car is tight. It's tight to the road. It just drives like a dream. I usually have the hard top on because I have sun problems, but it's just such a great car with the top off. The color combination I have never seen before. And the other thing that's interesting about it is the seat belts are beige, not black. I've never seen that. And they're original. Carpet's original. I mean, it's unique.
He also showed us the fact that the trunk doesn't have any rust, which was amazing.
So in the trunk, the first thing we look for if we're going to acquire a car is this is where 280 rusts, because this mat gets moisture underneath it from heat, then it rusts here. So this is the first thing we look for. If this is rusted at all, we move on to another car. So you can see here, it's solid, never rusted.
This is why I'm very quiet today, because I'm going to, once you have a concourse judge and the owner of a car attesting to these things, then there really isn't anything else I can add to, or anyone else for that matter. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of our great experts coming in and chiming in the comments with us, but rest assured, we wouldn't be sitting here saying these things if we didn't feel 100% confident about saying them. And I have Patrick, who's taken his time today with us to represent his own car. There's going to be one last question, which is, I see the glow in your eyes and love for this car. Why do you want to sell it, and who do you want it to go to? People are going to ask, if you love this car so much, so why are you letting it go?
That's a really good question. I'm changing my goal for the Mercedes.
Okay.
So I'm going to move up.
Oh, you mind sharing with us what you want to do? SL 300?
Yep, 300 SL Roadster.
Oh, the Roadster. Nice.
Not the Gullwing, Roadster.
I have to tell you something though. A very good friend of mine and a client of mine, he has a 15 car collection, and this is an actual job. He pays me to drive his cars because he needs me to maintain them. He doesn't get around to drive them too much. And of course, I don't just drive them. I take him to the shop. We detail the cars and all that. I oversee the whole process. And he has a 55 300 SL Gold Wing, not the
What color?
Roadster. It's silverish blue, light blue.
Yep, it's silver with a touch of blue.
Yes, exactly. I would say it's more light bluish than silver. It was originally red. He didn't, but it's been restored to perfection in Canada. So I drive that car regularly, and you're like you're sitting inside a spaceship. Obviously, it doesn't drive anything like today's cars. It has a very strange type of a feeling of drive, but once you're in the little bubble of you feel like you're inside of a strange spaceship. And of course, when I drive down the street, there's not a single soul that doesn't stop. And whoa, whoa, everywhere I go.
Head turner.
So yeah, it's something else. So I just wanted to put that in.
This is a head turner, just so you know.
Oh yeah,
When that
absolutely.
drives down the street, the exact
Absolutely.
same thing, but you just keep watching it.
Thank you so much for your time, everyone. Have a wonderful day. I'm Alec Cartier with Cartiology. I'm my good friend, Patrick Scruggs.